very excited to welcome Chenxi Wang. She is a managing general partner at Ring Capital. She is also, incidentally, an inaugural member of the Dark Reading CISO Advisory Board. She has also served as a Forrester analyst as well as a computer science professor. Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, this is a thrill. When I heard you were willing to join us, I've been a fan of yours for quite some time. So thank you. Thank you. All right. So is there anything, I know that this year, is it an inaugural, you're doing a track for entrepreneurs. You're an investor. And so what is that and sort of who is that aimed at? Is it upstarts who want to make their millions in cybersecurity? Who's coming to you?
Well, there's a, you mean, you're talking about who's coming to my fund or who's coming to the Entrepreneur Summit?
The Entrepreneur Summit that you're doing here at Black Hat. This is your first year doing it, correct?
Yeah, this is the first year. I'm helping. I'm not organizing, but it talks by successful entrepreneurs who have built, scaled businesses before, and audiences. A lot of them are either current entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs. Right? So it's like past knowledge and current trends. Really interesting.
That does sound interesting. And what do they want to know from you? How do I get funded? What does success look like? What are some of the big questions you're getting?
So the questions I get is, how do I get funded? How do I make my pitch deck so that it's attractive? How do I form my team so my team is differentiated? And how do I find the right problem to tackle? And how do I get my first few customers?
Oh, well, those are all pretty interesting things. And
Yes,
I'm sure the answers vary quite a bit. Now, I would like to know, cybersecurity is booming. Everybody, it's a good time to be in cybersecurity. What is the investment landscape like? Is there a lot of money sloshing around for entrepreneurs to grab? Is it getting tighter? What are they looking at right now?
What are investors looking at?
And entrepreneurs, is there a lot of opportunity, I guess I'm asking for you right now?
There are opportunities, but I think the market dynamics is such that there's not a whole lot of free money around. In 2021, everybody's getting funded, right? Mm-hmm. Today, you really have to have your act together to raise money.
And what does that mean?
That means you have the right team, first-rate team. You have the right composition of roles, of expertise, right? Some teams are just engineering focused, but no product, no business expertise. You want to have both. So first-rate team, pick the right problem, and already have done your homework. What that means is you come to the investors having interviewed at least 50 potential customers to say, hey, they have this problem. I'm confident that many of them have this problem. This is what they told me, and this is how I synthesize the problem statement, and this is how I'm gonna tackle it.
Okay. And so when you look at these problems to solve, is there something that is basic in all of these things? Does a problem that you're solving, it needs to have a customer base, it needs to be ubiquitous across many different businesses? Is there sort of a checklist of how to know that you've got a good problem?
That's a great question. I wish there's a standard checklist, but depending on the subsectors you're in, some of them are today's problem, right? And you have to ask, how big a problem is this, and are you willing to pay for it? How much are you willing to pay for? Do you want it now? Do you want a 6-month? Do you want a 12-month? Right? Or some other problems are a little bit further out, like AI security, for instance. It's a hot topic, but people may not have ready budget to deploy right now, right? So you have to say, okay, I'm working on this product. How soon can I get into the hands of practitioners? Is it a 12-month problem? Is it 5 years problem? Those are very different company profiles.
You mentioned AI, and I'm one of my standard questions I'm sort of asking around is, how much of this is legit right now? And you talk about AI. Are you seeing that there is a lot of money available for AI startups? Or do most startups at this point having an AI component, is that a value add, or is it just sort of a new hot thing that everybody's talking about right now?
Great question. There's a lot of money invested in AI in general. right?
Okay.
There are a ton of, for instance, vector database companies. There are a ton of modeling companies and vertical modeling, people building model for healthcare industry, for financial institutions. And there are also people building horizontal infrastructure for AI. Okay? And I think the market is a little too early to really know who's going to win out. And there will be a lot of casualty, a lot of hype. In the greater market, businesses, large enterprises are deploying efforts and budgets towards using AI for businesses.
In a discovery capacity, or is it real world implementations that are right now?
Real world implementations. It's about taking my data, right, and apply an AI model on top of my data to improve my analysis, to improve my product, improve my customer experience. Those things are going on right now.
Okay. I saw you at RSA, actually, it wasn't last year, it was the year before, and you were speaking so insightfully about where regulation and the board meets for cybersecurity. And this year has seen more regulation around everything from disclosure to privacy. And the regulation seems very vague, it seems very ambitious, and it seems very difficult for teams to actually implement.
Yeah.
What is your advice to these folks who are trying to sort of traverse this, really, I mean, from all levels of government, from states, from the White House?
Yeah.
What is your advice?
It's a very difficult landscape to navigate right now. So my advice is to join a industry body, right? A group that is trying to navigate this as a community and get best advice from the community and other of your peers. Because we are seeing the SEC new guideline on reporting, right? You have to report an incident 4 business days after you determine its material. And that kind of timeline we've never seen before, right? How do you meet that? And really is, how do you get things ready ahead of time? So before incident ever happens, you have to get your data ready, get your login infrastructure ready. And how do you do that? You learn from your peers, your community.
And it strikes me, how do you determine whether it's a material incident or not? It seems to me even those guidelines are a little squishy.
You have to work with your general counsel on that. Right?
That seems to be, lawyer up seems to be the answer.
Sometimes we do need that help. And you've seen some of the cases, incidents happening in this industry. I think we need to work more closely together with our lawyer friends to make sure things are buttoned up, but also make sure that they guide us in the right way.
Okay. What do you see coming in the next year? What is sort of, do you have some predictions? Do you have some tarot cards to
Tarot cards.
read for us?
I think there will be more regulation on AI, more regulation on data governance and product governance in the sense of how AI should be built into the whole infrastructure. And that will impact how we as an industry using AI and also innovating on AI. So that's one.
Are you an advocate for full-scale lobbying? I hear a lot of arguments that the more we can push regulators, the more we can get in there with regulators, the better regulation we will come out with in the end. Are you an advocate for that approach as well?
I'm a little bit, not quite to that extent.
Okay.
I think there are some regulations that's needed, especially in consumer data. But I think regulation, if taking to an extreme, can stifle innovation.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, with that, I want to thank you so much for joining us, and it was a pleasure to meet you. Where can people find more information about Rain Capital and also about your entrepreneur track?
Yes, our website is raincapital.vc, venture capital, right, at VC. And I'm on LinkedIn a lot, so you can find me there, and a lot of different conferences.
Wonderful. Well, if anybody has a chance to catch up with Chenxi during Black Hat, I encourage you to do so and check out her presentation. Thank you so much.